Did you get that pink up in slow-mo?
I got it.
Check us out.
Alright, so we safely made it to Jacob Hansen's studio in Denmark, and it is beautiful. Take a look.
Yeah, we normally on these international trips take the day after the flight for acclimation, but we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay.
We can leave.
No, it's totally fine.
Obligatory coffee slow-mo.
Did you get that pink up in slow-mo?
I got it.
Check us out.
There you go.
You gotta want to turn around 360 to talk to him.
Yeah.
So like, it's best to look at camera when you're trying to like
Yeah,
talk to
yeah.
Ayal. But I mean, it would
I'll
be
try,
it would be a little bit more natural if you looked in this direction in the event that you do look at him.
A metal band that has a complex orchestra doesn't also have a few synth effects and stuff.
Yeah.
Alright, so these guys are gonna go discuss the fast track and get that set up. So while they do that, I'm gonna edit this montage. Alright, so we are very much set up for Jacob Hansen's Nail the Mix. This place looks beautiful. We didn't even need to take and use our own lights because it is set up so nicely. Alright, so we just made it back to the pad, got everything set up and ready to shoot for tomorrow. Tomorrow we're doing mix labs and we're going to do the mix rescue and we'll touch on the fast track a little bit. So with that, closing out today, see you tomorrow. It seems like Ayal just arrived with our special guest. Let's go check out who it is. So we are back at Jacob Hansen's studio, day 2 here in Denmark, and it's going to be a fun one. We're running through the Krang interview, touching on the mix labs, and we have some special guests. So hang out. They'll be here soon.
Good morning.
Morning.
Morning. How you been sleeping?
Me? Great.
Oh yeah.
Dude, this mix is such a save. You gotta hear those drums. It looked like in a college dormitory or something. It looked like some kid in a college room had some setup. It was rough, like $1,000 budget kind of stuff.
Yeah. I just went, this it's never gonna work. So I just started fake OBs or all samples or whatever, and who cares? So sometimes it's like, I can see how people would start with those tracks and work on them for hours and hours and tweak on a terrible recorded snare drum.
But I get what's interesting to me is the reason that I feel like it's cheating is because there was that whole explosion of fake drums and fake amps and all that for like 10 years ago, and so it's like their heart is in the right place, but if it's terrible, then there's no honor in keeping something bad.
so Eyal just went to pick up our special guest, and right now we got Nick and Jacob working on the other side on the mix labs. Check it out, here's a preview.
Light it up, spun it out, all the barriers and I trade it in, fade the spot, track it down to the hidden believers.
Stock plugins on the main
Right.
vocal. It's like,
I love that. You're using the stock 7-band and the stock
Yeah, yeah.
Bomb 76 or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
That's great.
And
I
people are
love
like,
that.
it sounds so bad. No, it's it's fine.
It seems like Eyal just arrived with our special guest. Let's go check out who it is.
So then I hit him up just on Facebook, and they were like, "No way, this is not really him." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, it's me, and I really love what you guys are doing, and I'd love to catch up. And I see you guys are coming." There were several dates that I intended to go out with, and I got sick. But then I went up to, I found them in I was supposed to go to Philly and then Baltimore, but I ended up going to Baltimore, and found out they had, no crew. They were, making nothing. They had a bag of chips in the dressing room that were shared with 2 other bands, and I was like, this is unreal. Like, you're like my favorite band in the world, and they're freaked out that I'm there, and I'm like, well, how can I help? So I helped drum tech a little bit, and then I sold their merch all night. I'm not sure, but I just got in touch with them as a fan, and then the whole management thing came about when I went to that show and ended up like helping them set up their shit and working merch and stuff like that, and just realizing like how special I thought this album was, and how long I've been doing this, and how difficult it can be to be stuck in that room with or van with 9 dudes and a bag of chips, and they're coming from overseas to do this for nothing. I mean, they're losing money to do it, and it's like, how long can you hold on to that passion? And I thought it was so special. I was like, I want to like help. How can I help? That was the whole reason behind starting the management company. The interesting thing was with them, and I knew my goal was to try and really help and not take. And the idea of management, I've always seen it as, well, you're just pulling money from the guys at the bottom of the totem pole, and it just makes it less and less for these guys. But on all the tours that we've done since then and everything that I've worked on with them, like, I'm not commissioning them anything at all. It's just whatever I can do to kind of help them out, because I really want to hear their next album. I don't want them to get bummed out with each other or frustrated with the process of all this. And of course everybody has to pay their dues, and I get that, and they're willing to do it. I just want to try to make it as comfortable for them as possible. Back and forth between part-time jobs, and your girlfriend's sick of it, and there's nothing to show your parents, and it's like it starts to get really difficult. And the people that are dedicated to it stick around, and that's one of the things that people always ask me is like, how did you guys been able to do it? I was like, basically we just didn't break up. We're too stubborn to quit.
All right, so right now we're shifting gears and getting ready for that Kerrang interview. So it's gonna be good. It's gonna look like this.
To work with a singer, that's especially important. I think that how to tell a singer if it's out of pitch and where to go, and
it's going to feature Jacob's amazing hair. So how do you achieve solid punch with your guitars but still keep like good width?
sometimes there are 4 guitars recorded, so 2 are panned hard left and right, and 2 are a little not hard, but maybe 90% left and right, and that I always go for. I feel like I can go for very wide guitars without losing punch and focus, and there must be more like that, but that's the one I use, and then I don't do anything about the low end, but I do it around the body of the guitars and a little bit of the high end, and then the very highs are not being widened, so it's like it's in the middle.
So you're like high mid areas are kind of wide, but your low mid start to roll off in the center. Oh, that's pretty cool.
But because when I reference sometimes other people what they're doing, and sometimes I hear these ultra wide guitars, and I'm like, I feel like you can still do it, even though you want to think about how it will translate in mono, because sometimes you're like, I don't care. The great thing about getting the guitars out to the sides is that you have so much space,
straight down the center.
Where you can have vocals and snare and kick and all the all kinds of crazy things going on.
We'll let these guys get back to it before Nick kills me.
Alright, so we're just about set up for the Tom Under miking mix lab. That's a mouthful. But anyways, it's gonna look like this.
So here we've got a classic 421.
check it out. If you want to see more of that stuff, go to...
Also because of workflow, I can work on, maybe during a normal day, I'll work on 5, 6, 10 mixes sometimes, different, you know, revisions back and forth, and doing things, and that would never be possible. No. Well, you know, could be fun, and it's, you know, I like the gear, but it's just, yeah, and power consumption and the heat, and then you gotta cool down the whole studio all the time.
Yep.
It's just, nah.
Very efficient.
Yes, it is.
So we've had quite the productive day so far. Right now we're going over the mix rescue stuff, and Chris is hanging out. Alright, so we're starting up the mix rescue. Very first mix rescue I've attended with the live studio audience. Chris is sitting in, it's gonna be fun.
Even though I think ghost notes are important if they're played right by drummers, and this could, you know, this type of beat could really, you know, that would be nice to have the ghost notes in there.
Without the gate being set right, kind of like back to what we were originally talking about, he's kind of mixing himself into a corner.
Yeah, still hurts me.
We had quite the productive day. We just finished up the mix rescue. Right now we have some friends showing up. They're actually gonna be nailed.
How you doing? Good to see you. How you doing? Matt, good to see you. How you doing, bro?
Finally,
Finally, yeah, totally. You all good?
Yeah, good.
Spot on. Hey man, how you doing?
How's it going?
Matt, nice to meet you, bro. Wicked.
Right, so we're gonna hang out with the guys and have dinner. It's gonna be a good time. Talk some shop, talk about, you know, recording. So we had quite a productive day. We crushed through all the mix labs, did the mix rescue, and we're just hanging out here. And I'm intruding on Nick because we're about to go to bed. We had a great time having dinner with all the guys, and we're gonna see you tomorrow because tomorrow's the stream. Any final words, Nick?
I didn't approve.
Bye!
You're like,
Alright, so it's day 3, and I'm super stoked about Nail the Mix. This Nail the Mix is pretty cool because Dyscarnate actually tracked this project themselves and sent everything to Jacob. We're gonna get to see what Jacob chose to keep, what Jacob chose to change, what Jacob chose to like incorporate himself. This Nail the Mix is gonna be pretty sick. Just because it goes to show like what you can do if you track something correctly and send it to a sick producer. And my camera is tilting. So we'll see you at the studio.
Look at that. Nick is looking really stylish today. Always leave it to Nick to come up with the best outfits.
I just wear the same clothes all the time. Every Nail the Mix. Alright, so we're gonna Meetup with Sam.
stuff.
Alright, so we are back at the studio and it is stream day.
You excited?
Oh yeah.
All right, welcome to March 2019 Nail the Mix with Mr. Jacob Hansen and Dyscarnate. Hello, Jacob. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
And we are now live. So our good friend Chris just got here to join us for the Nail the Mix. Let's go see what's going on.
Oh yeah, they love it.
Killer.
Yeah, they love it.
One of the bigger monitors that are in there and put it here so that everyone can see.
So it's quite the interesting setup on this Nail the Mix.
It is. It's very intricate. We have Chris Adler and the band Dyscarnate here. That's going to be sitting here behind where everything else is happening. So we have Eyal's desk, the camera on Eyal. Here we have a monitor for Eyal and the gang to see. A camera that's covering all of them. Obviously, Jacob's setup. And then Jacob's camera. And then I'm controlling everyone's mics and all of these cameras from right here. So very intricate, but it's gonna be really cool. And it's going very well right now. We're about 3 hours into the stream, and so far, it has been nothing but smooth sailing.
You're also live mixing, so
yeah.
You're a monster.
I'm running off of adrenaline.
It is a magical. The first thing I saw. Yeah.
These guys are looking beautiful.
Thanks.
And it's fine that it's a little crazy sounding now. That's totally fine.
Well, I didn't get to say it while I was there, but I got to snoop in on Chris and the band talking about his experience with recording with Machine and why he chose to work with Machine versus the other options of producers he had back in the day. Anyways, back to the vlog.
What the fuck do you know about metal? And he's like, nothing. Like, I've been over in England doing sound design with Prodigy. Like, but, you know, I think we can do something really cool with your music. And we're all like, I'm not sure. But at the same time, you know, Colin Richardson's wanting to do it, you know, Bob Rock's wanting to do it. And we're like, we don't want to be like everybody else. Let's see where this goes, because you know, to branch out into somebody that understands a whole different mindset of music and the genre itself, like to get out of that box. Like that's what made, you know, Ashes of the Wake and Sacrament what it was. It was dealing with somebody that.
I think listening to stuff like, you know, EDM and stuff, and just having a really wide range of genres you listen to, because I know, you know, we listen to a hell of a lot of that kind of thing as well. Yeah. Just gives you a lot, you know, a much more dynamic kind of approach to this kind of music as well. If you're able to kind of be open-minded to everything and anything, and applying those ideas to, you know, what can be sometimes quite a one-dimensional genre, it makes it much more open and sort of.
If you only listen to the genre of music that you're playing and writing, you'll only employ the tools that are used within that genre, because you're, well, I mean, maybe you won't, but you're not getting influences from other things. So.
And it's you totally feel it, you know, oh, it's building and this is gonna be great, you know. It's that way of building and payoff and building, and it's great.
Do you handle the like songwriting, producing?
We really do it all together. Yeah. Mash usually the guy on the computer because he programs the drums as we're doing it. But when we're writing, it's all just
everybody's all free.
We're all sat around the computer, we're all working on it together. It's that kind of a thing, you know. We write bits and pieces separately, and we try and come up with ideas and stuff. But pretty much, I'd say 90% of what we do comes when we're all in the same room. You know. Oh, cool. That's where we find that we get the best collaboration.
Did you already know that Jacob was going to do?
Yeah, because he did our album in 2012, and and we'd heard some mixes he'd been doing since then as well, and his production had only gotten better since we'd last worked with him, so we just sort of knew, we're gonna have to try and work with him again.
So like when you guys did it the first time, was that like more so a learning experience when you sent it to him for this song?
I guess so, yeah. We sort of through some emails and stuff on the first time when we worked with him, you know, we knew way more what he wanted and how he works and that kind of thing. So the second time it was way easier. We sort of had more of an understanding of what was going to make his life easier and what was going to sound better, you know.
Q&A at the very end, and I'll ask the good ones. So what are we up to now? Master Bus?
Yeah, I think so.
Alright, so we are down to the final segment of this Nail the Mix. It's been fun. It's been crazy. Got a lot of input from the band. A lot of cool insight too.
Everyone who watched, and we'll see you tomorrow for part 2, March 2019. Nail the Mix with Jacob Hansen. See you later.
Made with love. Alright, so we're back for a round 2 of Nail the Mix with Jacob Hansen. It's gonna be fun.
It is.
Off to Eyal in 5, 4, 3. soon.
All right, welcome to part 2 of March 2019 Nail the Mix with Jacob Hansen, and this time Amaranthe. And Jacob, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
It is hard to say no before you learn to let go. 365 in a day to save my soul.
Yeah.
How long have you had this place?
7 years, I think, or maybe 8 now. Yeah.
So how long did it take to like develop the aesthetic? Was it always like this, or did you go through different movements?
No, it started out being white, and then
okay.
I actually got hold of a guy who's working with decorating shops and cafes and shit, and I asked him, so what do you think? Should I do something? He was like, yeah, sure. And then, he...
And we've gone to places with like espresso machines and everything, but this is by far my favorite coffee.
Made with love.
Oh, that's why. Just like his mixes. Made with love.
Yeah.
All right, so the band just showed up with Chris and everyone. It's gonna be fun. They're jumping on the stream, so.
Things like that. In that they're kind of on the spot in the writing process, I would imagine they're a little more open to trying something different.
Yeah.
As opposed to having practiced it for 6 months.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Which is that's also that's actually one of the good things about writing it on the spot, because there is not this demo-itis where everybody's like, oh, so good on the demo, listen to how good it is with programmed drums.
Yep.
So you're right about that. It's everything is much more open. You can do many things.
Jacob's about to crush it, so we'll see you after the mix.
Let go.
Alright, so thus wraps up an epic Nail the Mix.
Really catchy songs in a row.
Oh yeah.
Pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. Nice one, man. Thanks, Jacob.
Cheers, Jacob.
Thank you
Right.
so much.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Great Nail the Mix.
Yeah. I'll let the price tag hang.
Alright, all cameras going. This is the Dyscarnate Chris Adler interview for Grin. Audio rolling.
Alright, so I didn't get to shoot a lot of footage that day because it was just like really crazy. It was crunch time. We shot like one interview for Kerrang, another podcast, and 2 guitar playthroughs under 4 hours. So with that, I'm just gonna go back out of frame and you guys continue watching the vlog. Goodbye! So everybody's been talking about Jacob's style, but you have to note that he has the rolled up. He rolls up, he cuffs.
Because I bought these boots and I need to see them.
Oh, that's right.
That's a man of class. He understands the fashion.
Look at the price tag. It's like, I need to see these
Yeah.
all the time.
I'll let the price tag hang.
So we had quite the productive day here at Jacob's studio. And now we're heading over to the meetup. So we'll catch you there. I'm so nervous about the meetup. It's gonna be a huge bust. There's like I don't even know if Chris is gonna even show up. Like I'm so afraid, and I feel like I'm disappointing everybody all at the same time. So we are out here in Denmark for the URM meetup. Let's see how it's going.
My name is Peter Buju, and I'm from Romania originally. And I live in Sweden right now. I want to meet the guys who actually do it. I mean, it's been 3 months now. I started when Coley did the aborted session. I actually joined at the way late in the month, and spent the whole other month just playing around with it. It was crazy. Wow, so much content, man. I can always just fill my brain with podcasts, I can watch the mix labs, I can watch the courses. There's some crazy content out there. Once I joined the Yoram group on Facebook, and now I feel confident on my production knowledge to actually do serious projects. It's the best investment you can do. Even when I tell people that are not in audio, and I tell them the things that Yoram do for me, and I tell them the price, they're like, holy shit, this is insane. How do you get it? The community is fucking amazing. And it's so cool being in a group with such cool people that are having such amazing careers and you can get inspired by.
Had a fantastic meetup, great turnout, and we're gonna end the day with that. See you tomorrow. Gonna film the fast track.
Don't do this to me. Let me enjoy my lunch in peace.
So we are back here at Jacob Hansen studio. Last day, kind of bummed out about that because Denmark is such a beautiful place. We're going over the fast track, going over arrangements and how a good arranger can really affect a mix. Let's go check it out.
Don't do this to me. Let me enjoy my lunch in peace.
But that sounds so normal to me. Oh. It's like no. Being...
God bless you. I'm sorry.
It's actually a real violin in there as well.
So hard. Yeah.
Of choosing the right libraries and sounds. Similar to everything else in production, getting it right at the source. There's nothing more epic than a badass metal band and a massive orchestra playing together. However, it's not the most obvious or natural sonic pairing. Mixing metal is a huge balancing act to begin with, but when you add 20 to sometimes over 100 different tracks of synth, keyboard and orchestra pieces, the real challenge begins. Yeah, you too. I never.
Whew. And thus wraps up a crazy trip in Denmark with Jacob Hansen. We did a whole bunch of content. Can you name off what we did?
3 Kerrang interviews, 2 mix labs, 2 nail the mixes, a 19 video fast track, a lot of B-roll, a whole lot of not sleeping,
a whole lot of jet lag. But we had a great time. Thank you, Jacob, for hanging out. Thank you for this amazing place. Thanks to you guys for tuning in. We're gonna see you next time. We're hanging out with Sean O'Keefe next month. It's gonna be fun. We'll see you there.